So we want to appeal to you. Be calm. If you have any information that you feel that was not given, you are liberty. Surrender and feel at peace and free to give us any other information you feel that no. Besides what we have given you, there is also this document. We shall admit it to be part of the evidence given to us. With that said, Council Secretary, I would like to ask you to take us through your report.
Thank you very much, Chair. To begin with, I didn't greet all of you, so I'm extending my greetings to you, Chair.
You're welcome.
And to all the honorable members.
We are very happy.
Thank you so much.
You see, it shows that we are on the same page. We are friends. The way Honorable Mtero said, your humble servant is saying, be calm. So we accept the greetings and we are very happy to have you appear before us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. So as I begin, there is some documents that would like to submit as an addendum. And these are pictures for the project at Mulangwa School. They are here. And just a minute, Chair. Some more documents are being submitted on the same project.
Not a problem at all.
Thank you.
This is your humble committee.
Thank you very much, Chair. As I begin taking us through the report,
Proceed.
I would like to indicate that we didn't have any queries on specifics. What we have are queries on cross-cutting issues.
No problem.
I'll commence, Chair. We'll go to page 1 of my report. And if I'm allowed, I may go straight on to the management submission on page 1. I'll start with the cause of query. Cause of query. The retained amount of 115,681 was deducted at source at Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for a top-up of the procurement of 2 motor vehicles for KAFUE Police Station and Constituency Development Fund monitoring vehicle, which with registration numbers ZP 2709B and GRZ 901CZ respectively. Action taken. The 2 vehicles were procured and delivered to our district and currently in use as at Appendix 1. Remedial measure. Management will always engage Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on the details of the retained funds. Page 2, Chair. Cause of query. At the time of audit, a total of 23,375,313 kwacha 50 ngwe was unspent due to activities which were still ongoing. Action taken. A total of 23,375,271 kwacha 18 ngwe has since been spent on all the CDF components as tabulated in the table that is shown there. Chair, I take you to Appendix 2. It says see Appendix 2. Then for the remedial measure, we will always ensure that activities are done within the implementation year. Appendix 2.1 on unspent funds on community projects. Management submission. Unspent funds amounting to 12,292,379 on community projects was due to projects which were still being implemented. Action taken. Management acknowledges the auditor's observations and wish to state that the projects in question have since been completed and handed over as tabulated in the table which is shown. And Appendix 3 is there to support this particular project. Remedial measure will always ensure that activities are done within the implementation year. Appendix 2.2 unspent funds empowerment grants. Management submission, cause of query. The payment of 17,943 was as a result of unspent funds under the 2022 empowerment grants, which was spent in 2023. Action taken. The balance brought forward from the 2022 Constituency Development Fund CDF implementation was spent in the year 2023. Remedial measure. Currently, all funds in the empowerment grants component are spent within the implementation year. We move on to Appendix 2.3, unspent funds empowerment grants. Management submission. The payment of 17,943 was as a result of unspent funds under the 2022 grants, which was spent in 2023. Action taken. The balance brought forward from the 2022 Constituency Development Fund implementation was spent in 2023. Remedial measure. Going forward, all funds in the empowerment grants component are spent in the particular year. Chair, Appendix 2.4 on secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. We move on to page 5. Management is submitting that the cause of query is the unspent funds totaling 843,561 under the secondary and skills development bursaries component was due to non-reporting of students even when we had done some replacements. Action taken. The unspent funds amounting to 843,561 was varied towards the procurement of 700 desks under the 2024 Constituency Development Fund implementation, and there the document supporting is at Appendix 4. Remedial measure will always adhere to timely expenditure of all Constituency Development Fund activities. Appendix 2.5, unspent funds administrative cost. Management is submitting, Chair, that cause of query, the administrative cost of 465,918 was due to the balance brought forward from the 2022 administrative cost component, which was spent in the year 2023, and the figure includes the 284,362 kwacha, 8 tingwe, interest earned from the Constituency Development Fund main account for the year 2022, which was paid to the Ministry of Finance and National Planning in the year 2023. Action taken. We will always ensure that expenditure is, action taken will always ensure that expenditure is within the allocated amount. See Appendix 5. Remedial measure will always ensure that expenditure is within the allocated amount. Page 6, Chair. We have Appendix 3 on the 2022 community projects. Management is submitting that the cause of a query is that the project which was still in progress was due to the failure by the contractor awarded the contract of drilling and setting up a mechanized water system to find water which was needed for the construction works. This led to halting of the project for the construction of a 1x3 classroom block, ablution block, and Staff House for a period of 20 weeks. And this shifted the intended start date from 9th March 2023 to 25th July 2023. The project's intended completion date was further extended on request from the contractor from 29th February 2024. The contract was terminated on 17th September 2024 due to failure by the contractor to finish the contract within 100 days, as stipulated in the contract, for the maximum number of days for which the maximum number of liquidated damages can be paid, which is stipulated in the particular conditions of contract as 100 days. Action taken. Management acknowledges the observations of the auditor and wish to state that the contract for the construction of a school, staff house, and ablution block and water supply were terminated and re-awarded to new contractors, and the works are in progress as seen by Appendix 6, and also the additional documents that are being shared. Chair. Remedial measure. Management will ensure the projects are implemented within the stipulated time frame by continuing to manage project implementation activities. Chair, Appendix 4. The 12 community projects, their chair, I will kindly request that maybe a correction is done.
You can go ahead.
Yes. So here I'm indicating, Chair, that instead of it being 12, it should be 11. The 11 community projects approved under 2023 funding were still under implementation. Action taken. And wish to 11 work in progress projects in question have since been completed and handed over as at Appendix 7. Measure. Management will ensure projects are implemented within the stipulated time frame by continuing to manage project implementation activities. Appendix 5 on analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. Management submission, cause of query. The payment of 17,943 was as a result of unspent funds under the 2022 empowerment grants, which was action taken. The balance brought forward from the 2022 CDF implementation was spent in the year 2023 under grant empowerment component. Remedial measure. Going forward, all funds in the empowerment grants component are spent in the particular implementation year. So this is what is taking place currently. Appendix 8 here is on the analysis on soft loans. Management is submitting, Chair, that the management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that at the time of audit, loan empowerment approval rate was at 29%. This represented the 19 approved beneficiaries out of the 65 applicants due to the availability of funds which could only cater for the 19 beneficiaries. Action taken. The loan performance was at 100%. Remedial measure. Management will ensure and continue to ensure that 100% performance is maintained. Appendix 9, Chair, is on failure to recover loans. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that at the time of audit, 9 recipients of the CDF loan empowerment had defaulted for the period of 5 months, amounting to 213,403. Action taken. The council, working with bank followed up with recipients and has since recovered a total of 189,444,000 kwacha, 57 ingwe, leaving a balance of 23,958 kwacha, 43 ingwe, as shown at Appendix 8. Remedial measure. The council, working with the bank, will always ensure that the terms and conditions of the loan empowerment components are adhered to. Appendix 10, Chair, on secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Management is submitting that the cause of query is that management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wish to state that at the time of audit, the total number of skills development applications were 505 and 309 was approved, and 55 pupils applied for secondary school boarding bursaries and 54 were approved. All the applicants could not be taken on due to limited resources. Further, 309 students graduated under skills development and 8 pupils completed secondary school, and the 46 pupils are still in school, as is shown in the table below. Action taken. Management has continued monitoring and making payments for the pupils who are still in school, as at Appendix 9. Remedial measure. Management will ensure that unsuccessful applicants are advised to reapply in the following year. Appendix 13, analysis of performance on desks. Cause of query is the 820,284 unspent funds which was due to savings. Action taken. The savings were allocated to Mulangwa Primary School, whose allocation was affected by the deduction of 2 million at source from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for the procurement of the 2 motor vehicles instead of the initial 1 million which was communicated. At the time, the Constituency Development Fund Committee was allocating community projects for 2022. This is as shown at Appendix 10. Remedial measure. We will always adhere to the timely expenditure of all constituency development fund activities. Chair, that's where my report ends, and I submit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CS, for your submission. Now it's time for points of clarification. Please, it's not a court case. It's just inquiring on some issues that may not be very clear to the honorable members of parliament or to the committee. Honorable members of parliament. Honorable member for Kaumbwe, Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. We go to page 1 on cross-cutting, because I think this was one of the pertinent questions that you queried. Page 1 is budget, funding and expenditure. So there are 2 tables. The first table showing the budget, funding and the retained funds, and then the disbursed amount and the expenditure. And page 2 is showing similar similar details. What is the difference in the funding received on appendix on table number 2 and the funding received on table 1? The second one is as at 31st December 2023, there's 22,568,366 as a balance. Now, when I go to page 2, management is saying at the time of audit, you were audited in 2024, but as at 31st December 2023, the balance was 22,568,366. This is from both the balance brought forward from 2022 as well as the funding that you received in 2023. Now,
my substantive question, or what I want to seek for clarification, is that on page 2, you are saying that at a time of audit, you had 23,375,313 kwacha 15 ngwe as unspent. When were you audited? It must have been maybe around May, July?
Yes. When we are audited is the question?
We were audited in March.
March 2024?
2024, yes, Chair.
Okay. So March 2024, that you are audited, but your books by 31st of December 2023, you had 22 million kwacha 568,366 as a bank balance. Then at the time of audit, the bank balance increased to 23,375,313. Why have a bank balance above what was the closing balance as at 31st December? There's an overstatement of 806,947. Then the same page 2, you are saying the action taken, because you have taken now that the auditors found that you had 23,375,313 as unspent as at March. Then what is the action taken over that money that was unspent? The action taken is you are saying a total of 23,375,271.18. So the money that you are taking an action on is not equal to the money that was found as unspent. What could be the reason? There's a difference of 37 kwacha 32 ngwe. So for now, just maybe seek these clarifications.
Yes, you can please attend to those two questions.
Thank you very much, Chair. I would like to submit, Chair, that on the variances that have been noted, these are figures that came from the auditors, which may not be changed, but according to our financial statements, the amount that is showing, according to our financial statements, is that the amount is supposed to be 23,375,313 kwacha 15 ngwe. And I would ask my Director of Finance to elaborate more on the same. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, if you look at Appendix 1, the total amount we are funded was 28,198,221, which is the collector amount we received in the year 2023. But when we come to Appendix 2, the amount changed. These are figures coming from the auditor, so we couldn't. So the amount changed. If you look at the amount which is here, the 27,391,270. The 115 which we didn't receive was subtracted. So, which means the figure is understated. So when we are responding, Chair, we responded to the amount which was in the books of accounts as at 31st December 2023 after engaging the auditors.
Follow up. Honorable Mwene.
What happens in this case where the auditor's figures and your figures are not matching, and you go ahead to explain? You discovered that maybe there's this mismatch, but you go ahead to explain on the action taken on the wrong figures. Why do you have to do that? Because you need first to reconcile the figures from the auditor's office, from your books of accounts. They are correct. Then start responding, because on page 2 you are saying the balance as at 31st December 2023 as stated by the auditors of 22,568,366 was not correct from your side. The correct figure should have been 23,375,313.50. So when you, as management, submitting, you are submitting your correct amount, but you should put some write-up to dispute the figure that is presented in appendix 2 of page 1. So why would you go ahead to explain figures over what is disputed in your account system?
Further to that, your mic off. Further to that, confirmation of figures which you confirmed yourselves on your letterhead, confirmation of figures on DAP dated 27th November 2024 to the Auditor General. Reference refer to the above captioned subject matter, which is confirmation of figures on DAP. You say that we write to confirm that the figures appearing on the DAP are correct according to the 2023 financial statement. We'll be looking forward to receive the report. Wupe Mutanya, Council Secretary. This is the DAP which you confirmed. So why did you want to disown or dispute the figures?
Yeah, thank you so much. This should have been from the realization that when our financial statements were reviewed, they gave us a correct picture. Of course, we are alive to the fact that when we realized this, we should have sought further clarification on the same. Maybe Director of Finance.
Thank you very much, Chair. Actually, Chair, at the time we were responding, actually the auditors were on the ground in KAFUE. We were auditing 2024. So we engaged the auditors, say, no, the figure is not correct. So they advised us to say, no, since you are saying the figure which is in the report is not correct. No, since you have a correct figure which is in the financial statement, go by the figure which is in the financial statement. Actually, initially we had responded to the figure which is on the query, but we were advised by the auditors on the ground, say no, since the figure which is in the financial statement is 23 million as a closing balance.
Maybe a simple layman's question is at which point do you sign the DAP? Is it when they are still on the ground or when they have exited?
Chair, is when they have
done the work.
Yes.
And they have gone and come back with the DAP. And they tell you, can you confirm these figures? And you agree. Why didn't you at that moment to say, no, we can't agree to this figure because we had told you what is sitting in our financial accounts is this. Why didn't you do that?
Chair, we didn't dispute because the figure which is in the financial statement is
the same one. On the DAP?
Unfortunately, I have not seen.
Let me read. Budget and funding. In the estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year ended 31st December 2023, a total provision of 28,313,902 was made to cater for various CDF activities in KAFUE constituency, against which amounts totaling 28,198,221 were received, leaving a balance of 115,681. In addition, amounts totaling 21,499,121 were brought forward from 2022. So you get this, and this is what you signed for. What is your comment? Honorable Mwanza, Secretariat, pass, let me show you what you signed for, what I've read. That's your signature?
Sorry, Chair, this is for the Director, Human Resource and Administration.
This is the one
who was sitting in at this particular time.
So it's a council document?
Yes, Chair.
And we believe that when signing, he sought professional advice from the financial advisor to the council, who is the treasurer.
Yes, Chair, I think on this one we'd just like to state that we've noted the concern that has been raised. I think we should have done better to engage the auditors more on the variance that has been noted. I submit.
What makes that to happen is the same thing that we keep on observing. You do not take audit serious. At that moment, most of you were out of office, as usual. That's why you find those gaps. You come here to respond to queries. The people who are involved directly with the audit process are not here. Those of you who come here easy, those who come here are the people who most of the time are not available. If you have any comment, you have discovered something?
Yes, Chair. If on the same document that has been shared, if we go to page 2, it's actually indicating the amount. So the amount that is being agreed to or being confirmed on the DAP is what is shown on page 2, which is a figure of 23,375,313.
Not the 28?
No, sir. No, Chair.
So you are on firm ground that the figures that you are saying are the ones that are appearing even on the DAP?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, we make progress.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Dr. Mwanza, bullet as we wind up.
Oh, okay. On the same one, Appendix 1, speaking to the same disbursement tables, there's a letter from the Minister of Local Government instructing councils that 24 CDF allocated in the 23 budget, each constituency was allocated 28,313,902.01, which amount was disbursed to your councils, except for the advance payments for the construction of chiefs' palaces and additional costs for the procured CDF vehicles that was paid centrally by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. The key word here that I catch is except for the advance payments for the construction of chiefs' palaces. Now, when we go to page 3 of your submission, you are accounting the unspent funds of 12 million. You are accounting for the unspent funds of 12,292,379, and community projects, why are you accounting for 1 million kwacha on table, yes, on page 3? Why are you accounting 1 million kwacha in your table here, and yet it is clearly stated in the letter that this 1 million kwacha was deducted from source?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chair. According to the letter, yes, it is stated that the amount was supposed to be deducted at source, but actually this amount was actually dispersed to our accounts. So
Which money is this for? For what purpose?
For the chief's
Chief's Palace.
Yes, Chair. So that is the reason why we are now accounting for it, because it was actually in our books of accounts.
Honorable Mutelo, follow up.
Yes, so, come opening the chair for the very first time now, other than the introductions.
Okay.
Number one, there are no queries on specific matters in KAFUE. I should think it's recommendable. How I wish come 2025 or 2024 that again you have no queries on specific matters and cross-cutting what issues. If I'm a prophet, you would say go deeper. That's it. We may laugh, but that's what we would love. We would love to see 0 queries. I was already getting afraid when the chair was saying now, as we are winding. Why? When sometimes you go through, that is as to how it should be. No queries, specific matters. It's my prayer.
Go deeper.
Go
deeper,
through KAFUE Council to the rest of other local authorities. Let's work towards 0 what? Audit queries. Let's do our job. But page 3 and appendix 3, you've not helped yourselves. Yes, since you have now gotten the money. So where is the palace? You have no chief in KAFUE, eh? You answer. You answer. Then 2, I've gone to appendix 3. The fonts next time, please do well. The fonts you have to have what the 4 eyes just on the appendix. But like number 1 by 3 classroom block or what, the money which is remaining is just a retention, meaning this project, sir, is done what? Is done what? Completed. But you've not shown that. You are doing a disservice to yourself. Where is the completion certificate? Even in a picture. So is project 2, project 3. So where is the road? You are even saying retention final payment, number 10, spot graveling. You've done well, but where's the evidence? You think we can just believe when you write like this? Yes. After having no specific queries. You see how humble your servant is. Where is the evidence? Yeah. allow me, humble as I am,
Humble, honorable.
calm as I am,
Always.
remain here.
Always.
Thank you, sir.
Respond to our humble, honorable member of parliament.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to begin with the last sentiment that the Honorable has made regarding the evidence that the works have been completed. Kindly, Chair, you can allow the committee to get to Appendix 7 on page...
Just there. I'm talking of Appendix 3. Now you are taking us to Appendix 7. They are the same?
I've gotten they are the same, Chair.
Okay.
Yes.
So you should also have indicated Appendix 3
Yes.
and 7. Because me, I just went to Appendix 7. I mean Appendix 3. But Chair, we can go to Appendix 7. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think Appendix 7 is what is showing the projects that have been implemented and completed. On page 3, there is a 1x3 classroom block at Lishiko Primary School. I think this is one of the best projects in our district. It was very, very well done. And on page 4, there is a clinic there that was constructed at Chipongwe. And on page 5, there was a clinic that was constructed at Chilambila. On the same page 5 below, a clinic constructed at Chipapa. And then also the construction of the C5, C7 bridge on page 6. The desks on page 7. And also the procurement of a compactor, which is shown there, and the water bowser. Then on page 9, there is a view of the maintenance of roads in the district, and also some crossing points in Magoba, and also in Kabweza wards, where the graveling was done. But I also want to get on to the other sentiments that were made by the Honorable Member from Mitete, Chair, that we are extremely delighted by the good advice that is coming from the Honorable.
Chair, with your indulgence. The Chief's Palace? See on page what?
For the Chief's Palace, Chair, that's where I was indicating when I was presenting in my report that we needed to have 11 and not 12. The 12th one is the Chief's Palace, which is not complete. But all the same, from the addendum that was given, we've submitted additional information, which is showing the stage at which it is, and it is at roof level. So for that one, you can refer to the addendum. I submit, Chair.
Okay. Follow up, last one.
On desks, you've just said procurement of desks. And you've shown the desks. How many are they?
Chair, for the desks, there were 1,370. 1,370.
All right. Where is the proof?
Delivery notes, issue notes. Is it procurement or planning?
Yeah, whosoever has your local authorities, peradventure, it can come from the pocket.
when you procure, you are procuring on behalf of the Ministry of Education, and they always assign the schools and the quantities that each school is supposed to receive or zone is supposed to receive. And when you are procuring in CS, you send them to these zones according to the quality and the numbers that, and there is a GRN and the goods issue note to confirm that the 1,700 are delivered.
Thank you very much, Chair. The GRNs are on the same Appendix 7 at the end.
Okay.
That's where all of them are attached.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
As we wind up, Dr. Manza, if you don't have, I'll be compelled to make my final remarks. Council Secretary and your team, I'll be failing if I don't commend you. I'll be failing on behalf of this committee if I don't commend you. So far, on the CDF, enhanced CDF for the year 2023, you have done a commendable job. You are indicating to the country and to the powers that be, the President and the government, to the National Assembly, that it is indeed true, possible, it's attainable, that if you officers apply yourselves accordingly, there can be no audit queries. We can have zero audit queries. Projects which are meant to uplift the lives of the people across the nation can be executed on time and the quality expected and the price that is reasonable. You have zero queries specific. That means the auditors satisfied themselves for the year 2023. You had projects over 17 that were embarked on. Some were completed, some were work in progress. By the time the audit was placed, those projects properly executed to all of you. Why are we doing this? You have demonstrated to this country. Whilst others are not doing the correct thing, here we are, we have a testament or a testimony of a council that is doing very well. It is a prayer as said by Honorable Mutelo that even 2024, 2025, we want to see the same picture, better than this. We went through the report in the night. We saw that you are just looking at the cross-cutting issues, expenditures, everything done. And now this vindicates this committee and maybe clears this committee that what we are merely doing, it is possible that there are certain officers who can apply themselves. So what you have done, you have demonstrated to this country, you are not doing it to please the government. You are doing your job expected of you every day. That's why you are employed, to do this. So you are not pleasing this committee, you are not pleasing the powers, the government. You are merely doing your job. And I'm appealing to other councils. If they are watching, let them go to KAFUE and see what has happened. Members of parliament are blamed as if they are the ones, by the people, the electors. They start pointing at the members of parliament. Council Secretary, you will note that the role of a member of parliament ends at making resolutions or decisions at CDF committee meeting. From there on, the ones who take over are the technocrats. Procurement, implementation, supervision, everything. The MP will only come when you tell him that now that project is done and commissioned. And when in a particular constituency things are not moving, people call the member of parliament. Look at Luansha, look at Ndola, look at KAFUE, look at Lusaka. The people look at the members of parliament. Once the role of the member of parliament ends at looking at the monies are there, let's meet a CDF committee is there, they decide. So for this CDF to succeed, for the vision of the president and the vision of the government, it is all dependent on you technocrats. We have a new minister of law government who is now should be smiling that indeed there can be councils which can perform. I always tell people that if the basis of promotion is performance according to such reports, you deserve to be promoted. If that's the basis, in this council you have an internal auditor who for the first time we have been sitting here, Doc, had to advise what you are doing here is wrong. Management, this is not in order. Management was insisting. She wrote a note. Me, I'm against this according to the ethics. We always give an example to that internal auditor, because the internal auditor is a gatekeeper for public resources. Procurement is the key to ensure the principles of our principle, the president, are followed. So if you can exhibit this and do better, director finance, planning, procurement, engineering. Engineer is not supposed to be in the council in a tie unless there's a council meeting. Engineer is supposed to be every day checking that group of a cooperative. Did they procure? If they procured Chigayo, they procured everything, the regulations say those things are deposited at the council. So in short, who procures is the council. They give this cooperative, Chigayo use it, but the ownership documents are deposited at the council. So if people are not paying that loan, you have the ownership. But we see these councils, big councils, blaming the banks. When they are the ones, you ask them, where is the blue book? Where is the document for this? It's not with them. You ask them, what does the regulation say? The Minister of Law Government is doing all within their powers to ensure they direct councils to do the correct things, but they work culture. So you have demonstrated to us, yes, there are issues here, only one or two issues, but these are they are not very significant. So I want to encourage you, if you are going now to start clapping for yourselves, no, we have been told we are doing very well, and you relax and sleep, we are still here. Before we are dissolved, you will meet us. So CS, maintain what you have demonstrated. Do more. Do not allow the engineer and the planners alone to be in the field. You, council secretary, when they talk about any project, you should be the one. No, that bridge, I was not happy. You should take time. So today is a special day for us as a committee. We have been vindicated. And today we are going to be apply an extra eye. Those who come with excuses, we shall tell them go to KAFUE. This is a report, it's a public document. We are not trying to praise you or looking for. Even Kalulushi, Amongst the municipal councils, I cannot fail to mention Kalulushi is a fair council that is performing better. If you look at their report, yes, there are queries. It's either failure to attach some documents. But if you look at that report for Kalulushi, what does it say? We should be giving credit where it's due. So this now confirms that we can do better. So today Dr. Mwanza was checking You want me to mention? He's saying that the council secretary should go back to Petauke. Where everyone would want to score. The president is on us. He wants to see things move. He wants to see this country develop. So what we are saying, there are councils, even other councils I have not mentioned here, who have a fair report. So it vindicates the Auditor General's office, it vindicates this committee, it vindicates the government, the Ministry of Law Government, the Commission. The Commission now is saying, we have some people who can do better. You are employed to do this work that you are doing. It's not a favor. You are real patrons to the country. Go down there, do more. This goes, you have made the honorable member of parliament for KAFUE. She must be a happy person. She's always in her constituency. We talk to each other. And the other members of parliament, they are in their constituency even now. So the people of Zambia should know that it's not the member of parliament. The member of parliament would like to see things, but it's dependent on you officers. So as you go back, we are proud of you. Continue doing better. You have become a model of a council that can be referred to as people who are working. Let this continue. Let the people of KAFUE see the value why the president is giving the money. I was telling, sorry, I failed to hold myself. Having worked in councils all my life, from 1994, I've never worked anywhere else. It's the first time today I was talking to my colleague from the unions. We suffered. Now we have a government that gives money. Even to be a council employee, you are a proud person. So let us make the people out there very happy in the councils. They are expecting a service. So I've spoken long because today is a special day. You have shown this committee that yes, there are people there who can do it. I'm sure there are more. They are coming. Some of these officers and some of these councils are coming. Queries are there, but they should not be so. Which council is there? 90. I don't want to mention names, but each one knows. With that said, Council Secretary, before I remove immunity, don't spoil things. I've encouraged you. You want to say thank you? You go back to Petauke.
Chair, the words that have come cannot pass without any word from us. What you've guided is very much appreciated, Chair. What you've said gives us the more impetus now to even do better. And for my management team, what I've always discussed with them is to apply the Kaizen concept. The Kaizen concept, the Japanese concept of Kaizen, which is that today should be better than yesterday, and tomorrow should be better than today. We should always aim at improving, but we thank you for those words of commendation. They are there to encourage us, and I would also like to state one thing, that through our engagements with the contractors, there is one project being implemented now, where for the first time of all the projects that have been implemented for schools, we have a school which is almost complete now, which is, I think, already completed, but it has terrazzo. Now, that terrazzo that has been put on the floor for that particular classroom block is not part of the BOQ. but it was just the engagement that we had. At the time we were signing a contract with the contractors, we engaged them that through their corporate social responsibility, they could do more. It also happened at Lishiko, where contractors are engaged to even do more. Certain things that are not even in the BOQ, they are able to do them. For that particular school, there is a terrazzo. So with such kind remarks, Chair, we are obligated to thank you and your committee, and also to thank the government of the day for the support. We appreciate. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Really, CDF is a game changer. You have shown us. We wish you well and more to come in the 2024 report and 2025 going forward. Traveling nurses, as you go back, all of you, go back in your offices, look at what is on the table, continue working from here. We thank you. Immunity is withdrawn. You have made us proud. You have given us the pride that a committee like this one has been looking forward to. We thank you very much. Our meeting is adjourned.
Thank you very much, Chair and the committee.
Committee on Local Government Accounts are receiving submissions from KAFUE Town Council, and the committee has adjourned, meaning the committee resumes its work on Monday at about 09:30 hours. And let me just shout out to our viewers who are following the committee live on Facebook: Kabundula Kahilu, Blessings Banda Koji, James Muyeye, to mention but a few. Thank you so much. Please, we encourage you to be following these proceedings on our Facebook page. That's the National Assembly of Zambia. I've been a presenter. My name is Muyunda Katamajo. And of course, not forgetting my sign language interpreters, Chola Kaoma and Jason Manda, and everyone in the control room. Please stay blessed and have a lovely weekend ahead of you. Good evening.